Okay, so before I begin, greetings to you. Let me just acknowledge a few people here in the comment section, the live chat section. Davy, good afternoon. Sharita Jagrup, good afternoon. Alima Lachman, Emily Etowaru, Shalini Bourne, good afternoon. Tara Sabrian, greetings. Nadine Bersan, is it? Good afternoon, everyone. Miss Carpen, Devika Ramrose, Radhika Daniels, Nicole Edmond, Sharita Jagru, Sabrina Love, Amina, is it Yakash? Greetings to you all. And I certainly will do my best to make sure that you get the stream properly. And I want you to understand this. The problems that you might be experiencing with the live stream, it is not from my end. It is not from my end. Because whenever I watch the live stream back, I'm wondering how people can tolerate the quality of the videos. But I want to say it is not from my end. It is the internet service provider. And why I'm talking about it, it is because some of them are tuned in, and I want them to understand how their poor service is affecting the quality of my work. And I've paid for the better packages. I have. As a consequence, I have to deal with these poor internet services. And yes, I'm going to talk about it. That I'll talk about. So they have to provide better services to their customers, especially if you're paying high rates, like I am doing. You should get a better service. So all the buffering you're getting and all the static, Dr. Love can't do anything about it. But nonetheless, let's see how best we can bring you. And I have said before that YouTube is a heavier software, so it requires a certain amount of MBS to give you a smooth output. Facebook and TikTok doesn't require that. They're lighter software. YouTube is very heavy. The storage capacity is greater. Welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Love Persaud. It's good to be here with you yet another day. I'm still not back on Facebook. I'm fighting the case. They're constantly asking me to upload pictures, upload this, upload that. So if you don't see me back, then understand that I've lost the fight. So this is where we would stay. And TikTok. But the message must continue. And the show must go on. What you can do is just to share this in your Facebook group, the groups that you are a part of on Facebook, share the video there. Not in the PNC groups, because you know they'll delete it. They will not allow it to go through their groups that they're managing, but share it in the groups that are friendly to the government and friendly to law and order and to the people of Guyana. Those groups on Facebook or wherever else you can, certainly share it. It's coming on to the hottest month of the year. They say that July is the hottest month of the year. And it is true. They also say that July people, Cancerian people, are the hottest people. Not just sexy, aggressive, angry, and won't happen. They tell you like it is. They are brave, overconfident, pompous, arrogant. You can name, you can call, go on and go on and go on. Yes, all that. July people. If you are born in the month of July, guilty. That's what I'm trying to say. I am yours truly is a Cancerian. July. That will be the 8th day of July. 8 is a significant number. 8 represents new beginnings. It's always promising. The future is bright with the number 8. So this is why I always focus on not the past, but the future. Promising new beginnings. Success, progress must continue. I can't help it. This is what we do when you are born in July. Let me call some names so you would understand what I'm talking about. Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama, the head of the Tibetan monks, and most recently, the richest man in the world, the most hated man in the world, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is Cancer, July. No wonder the guy likes to shake things up and speak his mind. Controversial. So you understand why I am the most hated black man to the black people. Even though I told them I identify as Indian, yet they see me as a black man and they hate me. I told them I am not a black man. Biologically, socially, rather, socially, my social identity is Negro, but my cultural adapted identity is Indian. But still, they hate me. Why do you think so? Because I'm July born. I'm a Cancer, Cancerian. Cancerian people are hated because we speak common sense to stupidity. You know why Aubrey Norton hates me? Because I tell him like it is. No, you understand. I can't help it. Facebook is shutting me down. For what, Facebook? I can't go back into my mother's womb and she pushes me out on another date. So I come under another horoscope. It ain't gonna happen. I will always be July, always be Cancer. And to some people, the bad people, the criminals and the crooks, and those who want to take advantage of innocent, law-abiding citizens, to those people, I'll be hated. But on the positive side, I am sure that all them lovers of Professor, of Dr. Love Persaud, all those people who praying and they're praying for my Facebook account to be restored, that are faithfully following me on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, all those people will find a way to say, you know what? Let me send Dr. Persaud a nice love gift for being a Cancerian born. I know you will. In case you're not thinking about it, I just put it in your head. Start thinking about it. So today, there are a few things I want to address. There are a few things I want to address. I must address. Let me talk about what seemed to be making the news or the headlines that doesn't warrant making the headlines. Let me just say that. The recent deportation of a few Guyanese from the United States of America. Why is that headline news? Why is that breaking news? Why? Is it the first time Guyanese were deported? It happens every day. Every day. Long before Donald Trump became president, the first time. Do you know who they call the deporter in chief? The black guy. Yes. The beloved Obama, the Negro president. He was and still is, because no other president before him or after him has broken his record when it comes to the amount of people he deported from America. Millions. That didn't get to the news, did it? It didn't. But a few are deported under Donald Trump, and it's breaking news. It's not breaking news. It's a norm. It's a norm. People get deported all the time from everywhere. How many people Guyana deports back to their country? How many? Do we even know? Guyana also deports people to their country if they're illegal or they're criminals. What America is doing is what every country does. You enter the country illegal and you want to be an a-hole and a pest to society, a parasite on the American welfare system. You don't want to work. You apply for social services for welfare. You want to get involved in gangs. You want to terrorize the American people. You want to rob and steal and murder. And they rescued you, even though you enter the country and overstay your visa. So before you stay quiet and do like the Romans do, give unto Caesar, walk the walk, pretend to be American, try to speak proper English. They don't do that. Typical Negroes, they don't do that. They think they go to America, Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese go to America, and somehow they have enlightenment. They are enlightened. Entitlement, rather. They're entitled. You would think that they're there from birth. They want to join protest. They want to cuss the American government. They want to do all these things, and they do not pay taxes. They don't own properties. They don't have a stable job. They're hiding from the law. Yet they are pests to society and want the American government to accept them. No, they won't accept you. If you know you're wrong, you don't be wrong and you want to show your strength. They say you're wrong and you're playing strong. When you are wrong, you shut up, you compromise, you behave, you obey the law, you follow the system, you try to see how best you can legalize your status. That's what you do when you're wrong. But instead, these Negroes thinks they're entitled. Well, Donald Trump is doing what the black guy did. Send their ass back. You're not entitled. It's common sense. When you go to those places, the best thing you can do, especially if you don't have a legal status, is to find a way to get a legal status. If your intention is to overstay, you must know why. I wouldn't encourage that. But make all the steps, the necessary steps. So while your time is coming, is going to be exhausted, you would have covered the possibilities of extending your visa or extending your time of stay. And you follow the process. But you're wrong and you're playing a gangster. Typical Negro. Bully. They want to bully their way through everything. Do you have any idea how many of them that joined protest in America, looting? You have any idea how many the Africans there are Guyanese, illegal in America, involved in chaos and protest? A lot of them. And when they are deported, they come back to Guyana with this grievance. So they bring all the wickedness they would have learned from the ghettos in America and spread the disease in the neighborhoods in Guyana. They want to be treated like princes and princesses. Even after though they were criminals in the US and come back in Guyana, they want to be accepted as a decent citizens. No. If you are a criminal there, you're a criminal there. This is why the police must process them to know what they did there, put it in the system, and keep an eye on them. So most that left on the plane on the deportation, they were locked up in the United States. They were in prison. They served their time, and instead of being released back into the American society, they send them back to their place of country of origin. That stuff happens every day. It should not occupy any time in the news or talking points. It happens every day. I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is if you have a Guyanese, Afro or Indian or whatever, go to a foreign country and is doing well, doing great. They're millionaires. They're entrepreneurs. They're scientists. They're doctors and lawyers and teachers and nurses and professionals. That's what I want to hear. That Guyanese braved the troubled waters in a foreign land and rose to the top despite the challenges. That's breaking news. But to fill my head with this nonsense about criminals, it's nasty stuff. It's dirty gossip. Gossip about how many Guyanese go to the United States and become millionaires. That's what I want to hear about. That's what I want to hear about. Not criminals, people deported. That's bullshit. Unnecessary. Forget that. The other item, which is also unimportant, that made the news. The same way the billionaire was sanctioned, that was important because that sanction was not as a result of drugs, but as a result of something more heinous, higher grade of crime, robbing the taxpayers, knowingly, purposefully defrauding the taxpayers of Guyana. That's an ugly crime. Yes, that should stay in the headlines. But does it get attention? No, it doesn't. Because maybe the billionaire with his illegal billions are paying off the news media not to cover anything about him, but to just promote what seems to be good stuff, building some cheap, dilapidated houses for some so-called poor people who just shed some fake tears to get some help. What he did, that should be breaking news and stay in the headlines. But you have situations about cops, X with one particular cop who is on the job, who seem to be turning a blind eye towards drug trafficking. And these cops were sanctioned by the United States. How many politicians were sanctioned for alleged corruption? How many? Look it up. So why is the cops, some superintendent or somebody who may have colluded with a few corrupt ex-cops to traffic drugs over a number of years, why should that be breaking news? Drugs are trafficked every day in every country. The people who get away with it are the people who control the system. The people who are caught, they're just the scapegoats. They have bosses, they have sponsors. The sponsors are never caught. The middlemen are never caught. All you see that keeps getting caught when it comes to drugs are the street hustlers. Street hustlers. They're usually caught. But the guys who are controlling the market, you don't know who they are, and they are untouchable. Untouchable. They will never be sanctioned, never be caught, because they are the masters. You think Pablo Escobar was a master? No, he was just a street hustler, just like all the others who keeps getting caught. They're not the main players, they're just the hustlers. So those people that were sanctioned by the US for drugs, it's unimportant news. Nonsense. I don't want to hear about it. This is why I haven't talked about it since it happened. It's a waste of my time. When the highest bosses who control the system are caught, then it will be worth talking about. But guess what? They would never, ever be caught. So let's move on from that. Okay? Let's talk about this rift between the AFC and the PNC. Remember, I said the PNC or the APNU is the same. But let's look at the PNC. What does the PNC represent? Plenty, plenty. P for plenty. N for non-stop, continuous, continuity, never ended. And C, you guessed it, corruption. PNC, plenty, non-stop, corruption. It started back in the day with the Demon King. That's their legacy. The legacy of the PNC is plenty, non-stop, corruption. And they are not embarrassed about it. So the president was right when he nicely shut them down. What are they talking about? President Ali is a saint compared to the PNC people. The man is a saint. If you look closely to President Ali, you'll see wings at the back of him. You have to look closely. Like when he's hugging people, then you see the wings come out a bit. You have to just really look closely, and you'll see it. Because the man is an angel compared to Aubrey Norton. It's not as if God had no love for Norton. He was born as a lovely child. Lovely child. It's the evil of the PNC that turned him ugly. The evil of the PNC that transformed him. You would think he's a clone between Barnum and the devil. Aubrey Norton is the clone. He is the medium. Barnum on one side, the devil on the other side, and he's in between. Yeah. Because no human, I mean, Idi Amin from Africa, Idi Amin, the dictator, is a handsome boy compared to Aubrey Norton. Aubrey Norton has the two sides of evil come in one. That is an incredible ugliness, an unbelievable ugliness. He is so unpleasant. Aubrey Norton is so unpleasant. He scared the shit out of the lawyer, Nigel Hughes. Nigel Hughes is afraid to look up to Norton as president. He's like, with that looks, you are too ugly to lead the PNC. I mean, you saw, a lot of you read the article, right? The press release from the AFC to them. No, this is why they could not arrive at a decision. Because everybody's saying, how the heck did you arrive at the chairman of the PNC? How did you even get there? The man's face hypnotized the voters in the Congress. They just wanted to get him out of their image. Okay, Norton, you want to be chairman? Vote him to be chairman. They just want to get it over with. And the lawyer, no law can protect you from that face. Even the lawyer that defends ugly criminals is afraid of Aubrey Norton's ugly face. Then you imagine what President Ali is up against. Norton is the devil's advocate. And Burnham's channel, Forbes Burnham, possesses Norton, who advocates for Satan. Nigel was right. I said it on my TikTok a few months ago. I said that Nigel Hughes, even though he's a crook himself, that did not attend his mathematical classes, I said he should be the presidential candidate for the coalition because Aubrey Norton is not just not marketable, he is expired. You cannot market expired goods. It's illegal. So it should have been a Nigel Hughes. I know all of you guys are clicking on my videos. No, you're watching. But you're a lawyer. Why don't you somehow write some legislation that that addresses personalities, appearances, because they have laws about age, at what age you can enter or become a presidential candidate. Also deal with looks, characteristics, and have definitive explanation as to why people like Norton should never be presidential candidates. Because people would, it will affect the voting turnout. Because of Aubrey Norton, the PNC supporters will not go out to vote, which is good for us. It's good for the PPP. But you want everybody to exercise their democratic constitutional right to go out and vote. But with that phase that Norton has, and people are thinking, I'm going to go vote for that. I'll just stay home and masturbate and look at some porn film. That's what the blacks will do. I mean, black people like sex, so that's the best they will do. They will not go out. So Nigel Hughes was correct. And all the women in the PNC, how could they sit back knowing that women like to look at attractive men? What? What? How did they sit back and relax and allow Aubrey Norton to ascend to the chairmanship? That they have to look at him. Even the camera lenses, when the camera is focused on him, the lenses has to screech its eyes to like focus. And that's a mechanical device. Imagine human beings, women for that matter. You see why a lot of the PNC women are single? That's why a lot of the women in the PNC, they are single. Because after mixing with Norton and have to go home to their husbands with that image in their mind about that man, he walks funny. If they are about to have sex with their husband or their boyfriend, and the last person they saw or had conversations with is Aubrey Norton, that pussy is going to stay dry. Stay dry. They would pick a fight with their husbands just not so they open their legs, and somehow the face of Norton keeps flashing. They would call the cops and their husband, oh my gosh, he's trying to rape me, he's trying to rape me. But when they catch themselves, oh honey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was you. Then the man is like, what? You're thinking about another man? Oh, baby, no, I'm not. I'm not. I had this weird nightmare that Aubrey Norton was on top of me. I get the infighting. They want the guy out of the way. But listen, God doesn't love ugly. That's why the devil is good with Aubrey Norton. And in all his corrupt ways, Nigel Hughes, in all of Nigel Hughes' corrupt ways, there's still some God in him. And that God in him is telling him, ain't no way this can lead a party that I'm a part of. Ain't no way. So they cannot join together. They cannot. They need to get Aubrey Norton out of the way. But they can't. Why? Because he holds the spells of Barnum. He inherited the spells of Barnum from Granger and the others before him, Robert Corbin and all these people. It passed down to the most ugly in the party, Norton. And everybody else is afraid of him because of the spells that he has, threatening them. Once you're in, you can't step out. Bless the ones who ran away to seek refuge in the PPP. Nigel Hughes, you should do the same thing. You should quit the AFC and join the PPP because all them attractive women from the PNC, all them attractive women, because a woman can't stay without a penis for long. She can't. The woman needs a dick. She does. So when they're seeing that their chances of getting a man or a husband in the PNC is far from possible, they can't even masturbate for free because Norton keeps popping up in their heads. They can't. Come out of her, my people. Be not partakers of her sins. So says the Bible. So all those pretty women in the PNC would get away from Norton and the PNC, and they will join the most beautiful party in the history of Guyana's existence. They will be able to socialize with finesse, with elegance, sophistication, wealth, peace, longevity, smooth talking. That is the PPP. And who will be left in the PNC? The great grandfather, David Hines, because his party doesn't exist. What is the WPA? It doesn't exist. He's having his case is beyond midlife crisis. David Hines has passed midlife crisis. He has passed the age of double pension. He has passed all of that. He has become the professor of stupidity. Yeah. He'll be left because he is a PNC. Norton will be left. And some of them Indian boy that are playing black men. How do you do it? I can't say these things because I'll get flagged. So, but I can demonstrate to you. Yeah. You know that all them Indian boy in the PNC, these Indian boy, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Yeah, but you get it. You understand what I'm saying. They'll be left with Norton because gay loves ugly. Somehow, somehow. But the beautiful people, and they are joining, they are leaving already. Look at the kind of PNC people that are joining the PPP. The pretty ones, the handsome ones, the smartest, and the prettiest. They're joining the PPP because in the PPP, there is no room for ugliness. No, all the seats are taken. All the tickets to the PPP camp are sold out by the pretty people of Guyana. All the law-abiding citizens of Guyana has already reserved their seats in the PPP. Yes, because when you go to get the tickets, you have to show up in person. And based on your appearance, you are eligible. So no, I understand even though Aubrey Norton wants to forget the $1 million he's making every month, he's making it, he's not earning it. Because you can never earn $1 million a month with that kind of ugliness. Talk to them prostitutes that resembles Aubrey Norton. Talk to them, they'll tell you. They have to work in the darkest of nights, and they have to work around the rum shops. So when the men drink and they're so pissing drunk, their vision is blurred. They can't even see the road properly. So everything to them is attractive, even a dog. So when they see those prostitutes with Aubrey Norton's face, they're like, wow, baby, you are so beautiful. She knows very well it's the rum talking, but she don't care. That's how she gets laid and paid for getting laid. So you understand what Norton is feeling? You understand how he feels. He must have gotten laid late in his life. He probably was a virgin until he became powerful. Couldn't get laid until he became powerful and get a position, and the women are like, okay, well, they're in government now. I need a favor. Yeah, I know, but girl, I need a favor. My telephone is broken. And the average guys, you won't get that kind of money from them because it's hard now in the PNCs, in government. But I heard that Aubrey Norton is still a virgin. So if I go with him, I can say, well, I haven't had sex for a long time, Aubrey, but you are so nice. Your pocket is so heavy. We could do something, but I don't want you to think I'm a prostitute. I just need a phone. I see a nice Michael Kors bag. I want to buy it. He knows very well they're lying to him. But he don't care. Getting pussy for the first time at that age, with that face, he considers that welcome to my world. This is why they will do everything possible, even though they don't stand a chance, because he wants to be president. He wants to be president. That's the only way he could get laid again. Only way for him to get laid again, got to be president. And you know why he hates President Ali. He wish that he could look like Ali. Yeah. President Ali, his right title is Prince Ali and the presidency. Aubrey Norton wishes because he's fantasizing. All them pussy Ali is getting. But he doesn't know that Ali is a faithful guy. Ali has one wife and he's content. But Norton, in his mind, he's fantasizing. How the heck Ali can be that handsome, that good looking, that charismatic, and only have one woman? Impossible. Because he is judging President Ali based on his own standards, that he is so ugly and he still runs after several prostitutes. You got to pay them. So if he has to do that by being so hideous, imagine if he looked like President Ali. He'll get them for free and he'll want more than five. So you see where this thing comes from. It's not just politics, it's personal. So President Ali is correct when he shut them down. What are you talking about? You people were the most corrupt from your boss's time, Burnham, to the past 2015, 2020. The monies that the PPP budgeted for children, for families, the PNC took it away. They almost destroyed the rice industry. They shut down the sugar industry, sending thousands of Guyanese home, laid off, to starve. Everybody knows that. But it's nice when President Ali can remind them, hey, don't forget, you were the most terrible. And when he does it, this is what I like Ali about. President Ali, you never know when he's angry because his face is always pleasant. You can only tell when he's angry based on the words he uses and sometimes the tone of his voice. But the guy is so pleasant that even when he's angry and he's talking, addressing an issue, being angry, women still get wet listening to him. Aubrey Norton is always angry. Always angry, even when he's not. Because of the construction of his face. Minister from Public Works, Edger, Bishop Edger, you're a man of the cloth. You're an honest man, and you are the minister for one of the largest ministry in Guyana. You're responsible for carrying out the works of the president when it comes to the civil area and other things. If you have some money remaining from the bridge construction, which will be completed soon, if you have some money remaining, can you allocate that and have the Chinese do something on Norton's face? It shouldn't be that expensive. Bishop Edgen, I'm asking. You know, you're black, he's something like black. See what the Chinese can do. Maybe they can have some AI, artificially engineered correction. Anyway. So the president is correct. The most corrupt regime in Guyana's history is the PNC. So be it the PNC or the AFC or the APNU or the whatever D and P and Q and LBTGFPK 1256969, whatever it is, they are PNC. All of them. So let's give our president thumbs up for standing up to those lunatics. The PNC are the most racist organization. They're a cult. And the good black people are leaving to join God's army, the PPP. So let's move on. David Hines. What are you doing with the cash grant you're getting from the government? You got nothing from the PNC. Nothing. You're collecting all of the grants the government is giving. What are you doing? How are you using it? You wouldn't say. But I want to tell you something. Afro-Guyanese, or so that you, David Hines, can understand me, the Negroes of Guyana has no right to Guyana. And you can't give them that right. They have no genetic right by default to Guyana, no part of Guyana. They don't. They have to obey the laws of Guyana like every other citizen. They have to work, they have to produce, they have to follow the rules like every other citizen of Guyana. The Black people have no immunity. They can do what they want, live how they want. No, 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 no. They have to obey the law. And if they don't obey the law, they have to face the punishment according to the law. David Hines, if you want the Blacks to claim an inalienable right, if you wanted to claim that right, get a ship, because a plane wouldn't work, and ship them back to Africa. That's where they can claim their right, on the continent. But the Black man in Guyana did not discover Guyana. He didn't discover it. He didn't bring himself there. Okay? And the PPP doesn't owe, the PPP do not owe Afro-Guyanese any reparation. Okay? The PPP, the Indians, Indo-Guyanese, did not enslave Negroes. No history showed that Indians, not India, no part of the continent where Indians enslaved Africans. Nowhere. So Indians owe Africans nothing. The Indian in Guyana don't owe the Black people nothing. So if you have an Indian president, he has to repair what? What does Ali has to repair? What reparations? What President Ali should do is to let them repatriate them back to Africa. All those who claim that they're unhappy in Guyana, book them a flight on the ship. Let them sail the journey back to Africa. That's where they think they belong. David Hines, you should join them too. The problems with the Black people is the Black people themselves. Who sends the thugs out to go kill? Who send them out to go rob and steal? Who sent them out to go protest and burn stuff on the road and vandalize vehicles, burn shops down, loot? Who sent them to do that? The Indians? The Indians send them. The only people who deserves compensation for the atrocities that their grandfathers and grandmothers suffered, died, bled are the Indians today. The government should have a special fund. The government should have a special committee to investigate the atrocities that were meted out against the Indo-Guyanese from the Burnham time, from the 60s to now. The government should do that. Investigate. And all the persons who are still alive that were a part of the massacre, arrest them and try them in a criminal court. And all the people who were victimized, the children of those people today, the government should compensate them with taxpayers' money for the struggles and the pain that their fathers and mothers and grandmothers suffered under the Burnham regime. That should happen now. That's the only reparations that should happen in Guyana. Indo-Guyanese should be repaired, as you like to say it, Heinz. Reparations about repairing the past. Yeah, repair the past with all the ills your people did to the Indo-Guyanese and compensate their children for the pain, the loss of property, the loss of livelihood, the loss of lives, the scars, the trauma. President Ali and your government, you should have a special committee to look into the ills, the wrongs that the Burnham did to the Indians. There were blacks who also suffered as a result of what Burnham did. Those blacks too should be included in the compensation, because the black people who stood with the Indians and tried to defend them, they suffered by the hands of the Burnham thugs and devil and demons. That is what you should be pushing for. And if you want to repair the past with black people, re-educate them now that the PNC is a party that represents division, disunity, crime, corruption, evil, obeah, protest, unrest. Repair them from that indoctrination, so today they can learn further. Look how many people graduated from the online university. That is a brainchild of the PPP. Look how many thousands of Guyanese, and take a look at the racial, ethnic makeup. Almost 80% are black people. Who did you think gave the scholarships for those programs? A black government? An Indian government. Indians paid for the education of black people, and your lunatics are calling the president a racist? This is what happens with empty barrels. The PNC is a bunch of empty barrels, and they're making the most noise to distract the attention from the beauty of the PPP and President Ali. You're lucky Ali is a faithful man. Because if Ali was not a faithful man, all of them thugs from the PNC that are cussing Ali, he will take your wives. Yeah. He will do them in the presidential cars. You're cussing the man, you're calling him names. You're lucky he's faithful. You're lucky he's a one-man's woman. Yeah. There are many ways of dealing with you Negroes, many ways. Take your wives, let you stay there and keep talking. While you're cussing Ali, she's saying, oh, Big Daddy Ali, oh, Big Daddy Ali, oh, you're so sweet, Big Daddy Ali, oh my gosh, you make me come so many times, Big Daddy Ali, oh, you're so big, not so hard, not so deep, oh my gosh, President, oh my gosh, it feels good to have a presidential penis. Keep cussing the man. Maybe he will get a, what do you call it again? A hall pass from his wife. She'll say, honey, I know you're the president, and I see how these thugs from the PNC are cussing you out. And I noticed how that one's wife was looking at you the other day. Honey, I'll give you a hall pass. Go. Don't tell me about it. Let her. I can't say it. I can't say it. I want to say it. I want to say it. Why, YouTube? Why? I want to say these things. It affects me if I can't get it out. I have to get it out. I can't keep it inside. The PNC need to understand what I'm saying. They're not capable of reading the room. They're not. I have to say something. Moving on. Minister Nandala, the Minister of Legal Affairs, Nandala. It's okay for you to address the PNC, but the PNC is like a woman on her period. She wants attention, she don't want attention. She's horny, but she don't want to have sex. The PNC is like that. The PNC is like a woman who's pregnant with a girl child. Toxic as hell. So, Minister Nandala, you are a smart man. Right now, you are the smartest legal mind in Guyana because you are the Minister of Legal Affairs. So, you are the smartest legal mind. So, this thing I talked about earlier for Nigel Hughes to do in terms of getting a legislation about who qualifies to run for president, I think it's your call, Nandala. It's your call. You should get that legislation so that you don't have to deal with people like Norton. I understand it's painful to look at that guy. It's painful. Imagine if he was a judge, if Norton was a judge, you wouldn't need a jury. People would walk in the court and just say, I'm guilty, Your Honor, just to get it over with. They don't have to stand there and just look at the judge's face without having to tell him something about it. The Ministry of Legal Affairs automatically handles legal matters for the state, for the government, through which the government prosecutors operate. So, of course, you should be the one that GCOM consults with in terms of constitutional matter. You are the one, you are the department, the office. It happens in every country. Every country. So this thing about this claim that the attorney general is the somehow the attorney for the GCOM, be it true or false, it should be true because that's where it should be. That's how it should be. That's what the legal ministry is for. So you do not have to, I mean, of course, you need to have some topics to deal with in your life, issues in the news. So while you know it is not necessary to spend time on that, it's entertaining. The PNC and the AFC would pick on the smallest things to get your attention. So you talk about them. A lot of people are talking about me around the internet. I like that. All kinds of things they're saying. I like it. The problem is if when they're making claims, I tell them just come with the evidence. Don't make things up for me to respond to you. Provide the evidence. So in your case, Mr. Nandala, you know they have no evidence. They have none. They just want you to call their names so they can seem relevant. And I'm telling them this. When they're calling your name and President Jagdeo's name and President Ali's name in their mouths all the time, when they're having sex with their wives, if their wife's name is Carla or Jocelyn or Jacqueline, and when they're saying, "Oh, Jacqueline, you're so sweet," they're closing their eyes, you know. "Oh, Jacqueline, you're so sweet. Oh my God, Jacqueline. Oh my God, Anil. Oh, Anil. Oh, Anil." The wife would, "Who is Anil? Are you gay? Oh no, baby. Oh no. Oh, sorry, no, baby, no." This is why they need to stop calling you guys' name. You see why they're single? Because they call your name so much in so many fake news that when they're in this moment where they should focus on what they're doing, they're calling your names in the act. The women do it too. The ones in the US, when they're busy talking about Nandalal, and by the way, Mr. Nandalal, did you find out that thing I asked you about with you and Smelly? If she has a crush on you? Did you find it out? I mean, she's shut down. She's not online. I don't know if she is, but I don't check on that. But did you find out if it's something in the past that maybe she wanted something and she wanted to taste the Indian dick and somehow you didn't pay attention? Did you ever get down to that? You should. Don't leave it like that. This is elections time. They're going to pick it up back somehow because they have a large group on social media that they work together. So get down to that. Get it over with. Shut it down. So if it is that Smelly did have a crush on you, Mr. Nandalal, you should find a way to and see if you can get a hall pass from your wife and tell her, "Honey, don't worry, I'll make sure I'm drunk. I'll make sure I am drunk at night with a dark glass and let her pay me to suck my dick." Tell your wife that. Otherwise, you would have to address it every, when is it, Tuesday, when you have your issues in the news? But rightly so, the Ministry of Legal Affairs should be the authority when it comes to legal matters regarding the state. In closing, I say again, we need the PPP to get a 10-seat majority. 10-seat majority. For that to happen, all the Indians and all the PPP supporters from wherever you are in the world, book your flight. Go online, check the government website, check GCOM registration, see if your names are on the list. If your names are not on the list, find out what you need to do to get your names on the list. Go to Guyana and vote on elections day in your thousands. Don't worry about security. I'm going to stay on that security stuff until then. Arm the police, give the police the right to use deadly force to keep order and law amongst the citizens, to create a safe environment so that the Guyanese can feel safe. Leading up to elections, they can go home and they can vote for the party of God, the PPP. This is Dr. Lord Persaud saying, have a wonderful time. Share this live on your Facebook, in the Facebook groups. Subscribe to the channel. Let's build the audience. and there's no other way to get me back on Facebook than miracles. Miracles, no other way. I believe in miracles. You are my miracle. Keep your prayers, keep your meditation, and focus on the people that Facebook has, that they go into the system and they correct the mistakes they have with these algorithms and these bots. They correct and upgrade them because they're malfunctioning, so that I can be restored to Facebook and this fight continues. Comment, share, express yourself. Avoid looking at the PNC, especially Aubrey Norton, before you go to bed. And if you plan to make love to your wife, brothers, don't click on the man's video. Ladies, if you know you're ovulating, and chances are if you have sex, you could conceive, make sure the last image you see is not Norton's face. Otherwise, when that child comes, your husband might think you had sex with the devil. Goodbye now.